But JR mentioned something pretty important, and he mentioned a point guard. This is the best point guard Julius Randle and RJ Barrett will have the privilege of playing with. And that point guard is named the one, the only Jalen Brunson, godson of Leon Rose. All right. Coming into Garden. And here's my thing about Jalen Brunson. I have questions for sure about Jalen Brunson. He's done well in the playoffs for Dallas. He's done well without Luka. I read some stats that said without Luka Doncic in the lineup in the regular season, he averaged around 20 points and 7 assists with 50% from the field and 35% from three from Jalen Brunson without Luka Doncic. My question to you guys is, can he carry that into the season with these New York Knicks? And I have my questions and issues about that. Or my worries. Not, but at the same time, I'm a little worried, but I also recognize this guy, he has a chance to be something. He has a chance to be a star, but I want to see if he fits with the pieces here. But Lee, what do you think about Jalen Brunson coming to the New York Knicks?
100%, man. I think what I like the most about this situation is he's not alone. It's not a situation when we have Marbury with like, who's on the bench? Ruchi Norris. It's like, oh man. When the moment that Marbury sits, you got trash coming in and destroying the chemistry of a team. Jalen Brunson sits, you got the dog Derrick Rose coming in to hold down the fort. You got IQ coming in too to play a little off guard
Right.
or off ball. Like I like the dynamic of that trio. Even Deuce McBride. You got four solid guys that all bring a different element to the team where Brunson doesn't have to do it all. He's not coming in as some big point guard savior. He's actually coming in to the most depth we've had at this position in decades. It's a great situation for him to come into. He just had to up the number of threes he takes per game. Three balls a game ain't gonna cut it. You gotta boost that up to 5 or 7 a game. I watched a lot of Mavs last season. For some reason, the kid just refuses to shoot even when he's open. He loves going to the lane and getting fouled and driving to the hoop, which he's great at. But I got to see more 3-point attempts for the spacing to really work out, especially with Mitch and Randall up front. But in terms of like that dog mentality and the leadership and the ability, it's all there. And I love that the front office has put a team in place where it's not contingent upon him even being healthy for every single game. You got Derrick Rose, you got IQ, and I pray Thibs plays Deuce and Bride as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I was looking at his numbers too. You talking about the shooting? He shot 80% from spot ups to last season as a spot up shooter in general. Really eight in that mid range area, which is pretty good, but also concern of mine. Brunson up his attempts from 102 to 2021 to 237 in 2021-2022 season. He shot 40% from the field on those mid-range shots. And one of my biggest concerns is with the spacing being the way it is. Is he still going to get those same opportunities to cook at a mid-range like he had in Dallas, where they have a 5-hour offense? I'm still remembering when I'm looking at the Phoenix game where I watched Dallas shut down a mid-range shooter and a mid-range shooter on Phoenix, and I'm thinking that same thing could happen to us if we don't have the spacing. What do you think about that, Ryan?
Well, here's the thing. I agree with a lot of what Lee said, because Jalen Brunson is coming into a situation where even in Dallas, it's not like Dallas was his team. It was Luka's team, and he played more of that like secondary role. And then even like you stated, Jay, like even when Luka didn't play, he still put up pretty good stats. But at the same time, like you also said, Dallas had a lot of spacing on the court as well, which allowed Jalen Brunson the space that he needed to penetrate to the basket, get to the rim, finish at the rim, shoot mid-range jumpers or whatever the case may be. And of course, with the Knicks, the spacing is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be the same exact spacing. So there is that worry if he's going to still get enough space to do what he does. But I do think at the same time, though, his efficient shooting will help the Knicks as well, because he's going to free up space for other guys like RJ, etc. on the perimeter as well, because you can't leave Jalen Brunson open. You have to guard him on the perimeter.
Right.
So that's going to definitely, pull some guys up, which will allow RJ more space to operate. And then especially if you add Grimes to that lineup as well, that's another shooter right there too. That's going to draw somebody up, which should free up more space for RJ. Julius Randle, if he's in the starting lineup, which he will be. So there's positives to draw from there as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with Jalen Brunson, all I really hope for is that he's able to keep up his efficient shooting, because for a small guard, he's very efficient. 50% from the field, 40% from three, which is crazy for a guard that's 6 foot tall. And I think if he's able to keep up that efficient shooting, say for example the mid-range game is taken away because the spacing isn't great for Knicks or whatever the case may be. If he can still get that 3-ball going at that same rate, it's still going to help out regardless. So
yeah,
there is some worry, but there's also some optimism as well with Jalen Brunson in the lineup.
Yeah, I think this season, with him at the range, the one thing he has to work on is shooting on those screens and not just looking to drive. Like when you do those high screen pick and rolls at 3-point line, pulling them instead of looking for a drive, that might be the key, because with the way the Knicks are set up, they might sag off and clog that paint. But like you said, there is plenty of good with Jalen Brunson when it comes to the shooting.
I got a bold prediction for y'all.
Oh, go ahead. Let's go.
I think Brunson wins one of these three awards. I think he either wins most improved, all NBA third team, or all-star. I think he gets one of those three this season.
I could definitely see most improved for sure. I can definitely see most improved. Now, if we're in the playoff picture for sure, if we're in like that, I feel like if we're like a 6 seed, it's not. All-star might be tough, man. There's too many guards. There's too many guards. I can see him doing most improved. I can see him do between Darius Garland, Kyrie Irving. It's so much. Yeah, I think it'll be hard for him to get an all-star nod, but I can definitely see him getting the most improved nod. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, that's why I hedged my bets. And I said one of the three. I think one of the three are possible. When's the last time we've been able to say something like that? I mean, Randall for sure, but it's been a long time since we've had a point guard that we could say we'll be able to win one of those.
All right. And looking at these numbers, man, look. Rim, 93rd percentile from shooting at the rim from your small guard in Jalen Brunson. Short mid, 91st percentile. All mid, 89th percentile. Corner 3, 90th percentile. This man can shoot the basketball. And not only that, when it comes to isolation plays, end of game situations, he might be the best isolation player we have. Actually, I'm going to take that back. Looking at the numbers, the best isolation player we have is sadly Derrick Rose. Crazy. Derrick Rose is still. I'm gonna pull these stats up real quick. Derrick Rose isolation on defense, but Jalen Brunson is number 2. All right, Jalen Brunson is number 2. Derrick Rose 81st percentile in isolation,
That's what I'm saying. Insane. The guard rotation on this team is crazy.
Correct. Jalen Brunson 65th percentile in isolation. Not all-star numbers, but it's like a little more, like a little bit above average, but not that much. But with him having the ball in his hands a little bit more, maybe you start to see that go up. But
if Brunson pops off and we're in a playoff hunt, these New York fans are gonna go crazy. Even the K-pop fans that Wiggins in the starting lineup, bro. These New York fans around the world, man, it's global. They can vote him in if he has an unbelievable season. If he jumps from 16 points a game to 20, 21, shit, man, I'll be having like 9 burners. A burner even to vote him in, bro. I'm serious.
Okay, Kevin Durant. All right.
all I'm saying is, if Jalen Brunson makes an all-NBA team, yo, I might have to run in these streets naked, dog, because that would be so crazy. An all-NBA team. That'd be so crazy.
You're in Indy now. That's dangerous, bro.
Yeah, man. I don't want to do that over there in those parts. But yo, there's a lot to like. There's still a lot to like with Jalen Brunson, man. Digging to even more stats.
Let's go.
Pick and roll ball handler. I didn't know this. 90th percentile as a pick and roll ball handler. Mitch eating this season, baby. Mitch is eating. You never had a lob threat like Mitch before. So now we can see some things from Brunson and RJ Barrett going to Mitch. So big important stat from him on our side. The ball, but as you know, the defensive side of the ball is probably the biggest concern. When it comes to isolation defense for Jalen Brunson, actually it's not that bad. 85th percentile. But pick and roll defense not so good. But all in all, Jalen Brunson is looking all right, man. He should be good on his team. My thing is this, and I keep saying this, RJ Barrett, you need to study Jalen Brunson, man. You need to. Like, I feel like RJ Barrett should straight up control C Jalen Brunson's entire game. Like, they're both kind of not so super quick. Have to use angles and shiftiness to get to the hole, a bunch of fakes and finishes and pivots. That's all Jalen Brunson does, is pivots you to death and get that footwork going to get in the mid-range. That's what RJ Barrett needs to really study Jalen Brunson this season to get things going. So hopefully he does. All right. Yo, so salute to the channel. Salute to the chat. I haven't shouted the chat all night. If you're loving the show so far, you already know to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back. We'll be back next week to do more breakdowns for other players that's gonna be in Knick uniform, talk about the player outlook. All right.